King Belshazzar gave a great banquet for 1,000 of his nobles and drank wine with them. And while King Belshazzar was drinking wine, he gave orders to bring in the gold and silver goblets that Nebuchadnezzar his father had taken from the temple in Jerusalem. Why would you want to drink out of a glass when you can drink out of something that's made of gold or of silver?
Because it will bring the wrath of God against you.
You might be onto something. So they brought in the gold goblets that had been taken from the temple of God in Jerusalem, and the king and his nobles, his wives and his concubines drank from them. And as they drank the wine, they praised the gods of gold, silver, of bronze, iron, wood, and stone. Suddenly, the fingers of a human hand appeared and wrote on the plaster of the wall near the lampstand in the royal palace. The king watched the hand as it wrote. His face turned pale and he turned white. He was frightened that his legs became weak and his knees were knocking. The king summoned the enchanters, astrologers, and diviners, and these came to him. And the king said, "Whoever reads this writing and tells me what it means will be clothed in purple and have a gold chain placed around his neck, and he will be made the third highest ruler in the kingdom." Then all the king's wise men came in, but they could not read the writing or tell the king what it meant. So King Belshazzar became even more terrified, and his face grew more pale, and his nobles were all baffled. The queen, hearing the voices in the hallway, came into the banquet hall, and she said, "May the king live forever. Don't be alarmed. Don't look so pale. There is a man in your kingdom who has the spirit of the holy gods in him. Your father, King Nebuchadnezzar, appointed him chief of the magicians. He did this because Daniel was found to have a keen mind and knowledge and understanding, and also the ability to interpret dreams, explain riddles, and solve difficult problems. Call for Daniel, and he will tell you what the writing means." So Daniel was brought in before the king.
Why is he so old now?
Because he served through the whole reign of King Nebuchadnezzar. And he was probably close to 70 years old now. And the king said to him, "I have heard that the spirit of the gods is in you. The wise men and enchanters were brought before me to read this writing and tell me what it means, but they could not explain it. If you can, you will be clothed in purple and have a gold chain placed around your neck, and you will be made the third highest ruler in the kingdom." Then Daniel answered the king, "You may keep your gifts for yourself and give your rewards to someone else. Nevertheless, I will read the writing for the king and tell him what it means. Your Majesty, the Most High God gave your father Nebuchadnezzar sovereignty and greatness and glory and splendor. Because of the high position he gave him, all the nations and peoples of every language dreaded and feared him. But when his heart became arrogant and hardened with pride, he was deposed from his royal throne and stripped of his glory. He was driven away from people and given the mind of an animal. He lived with the wild donkeys and ate grass like the ox. And his body was drenched with the dew of heaven until he acknowledged that the Most High God is sovereign over all kingdoms on earth and sets them over anyone he wishes. But you, Belshazzar, his son, have not humbled yourself, though you knew all this. Instead, you have set yourself up against the Lord of heaven. You had the goblets from his temple brought to you, and you and your nobles, your wives and your concubines drank from them. You praise the gods of silver and gold, of bronze, iron, wood, and stone, which cannot see or hear or understand. But you did not honor the God who holds in his hand your life and all your ways. Therefore he sent the hand that wrote the inscription. And the inscription that was written is this: Mene, Mene, Tekel, Parsin. And here is what the words mean. Mene, God has numbered the days of your reign and brought it to an end. Tekel, you have been weighed on the scales and found wanting. Parsin, your kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Then, at Belshazzar's command, Daniel was clothed in purple, and a gold chain was placed around his neck, and he was proclaimed the third highest ruler in the kingdom. But that very night, Belshazzar, king of the Babylonians, was slain, and Darius the Mede took over the kingdom at the age of 62.
Who's Darius?
The Mede.
Who's a Mede?
He was somebody from the land of the Medes. He was a great conqueror. Herodotus, the historian, called him Cyaxares, and he helped invade the land of the Babylonians and overthrow it, and he ushered in the kingdom of the Medes and the Persians.
Where are the Israelites in this time?
They are still in Babylon, actually. The kingdom of the Medes and the Persians was the bronze thighs and belly of the statue that Nebuchadnezzar saw in a dream.
Who's the silver?
Oh, wait, no, you're right. They were the silver. The Medes and the Persians were the silver.
Who's the bronze then?
The Macedonians.
Dad.